Unohana decided that during their fight, she's going to kill Kenpachi over and over by stabbing him in his neck, chest, literally everywhere, then heal him over and over again to bring out his true power. It's time, y'all. The long-awaited fight between Unohana and Kenpachi Zaraki. They're basically gonna fight to the death to remove the mental limiters Kenpachi subconsciously placed on himself during their childhood battle. Mind y'all, she was the original Kenpachi, so she gotta push this man to his absolute limits in battle so he can unlock his full potential. So Kenpachi comes out of some elevator to find Unohana waiting for him. She said they're in the Mukin level of the Soul Society prison. Since it's so vast, he can fight and swing his sword without any restraints. She says they're lucky that they can even enter that place because it's only for criminals like them, and Kenpachi's saying that they're only criminals because they're strong as fuck. Unohana then turns around and looks at bro in the most crazy smile I've ever seen. Like, damn, what happened? I thought she was nice. Unohana thinks Kenpachi is weak right now, so she chose that place to scrap to get him right. As they continue to talk shit to each other, Unohana expresses her absolute disdain for Kenpachi by showing him the scar he gave her long ago. And Kenpachi don't give a shit. He basically said, cry me a river. They finally decide to lock in, drawing their blades and running at each other at full speed. From this fight, we found out some interesting things about Unohana. She was a member of the original Ruthless Gote 13, meaning she was a literal menace to society back in the day. Before being made a captain, she was a notorious criminal. She had genuine clout. She even gave herself her own street name called Yachiru. She is for real cold, and now that her and Kenpachi are crossing blades, this means one of them will have to die. Kenpachi starts moving like he's been craving this fight his whole life, and Unohana herself got no care in the world. Kenpachi swings his blade down trying to kill her in one strike, but she moves it out of the way with ease and cut this man right in his neck. Obviously a small gash to the neck ain't enough to stop that nigga, so he swings his blade again with slightly more force than usual. Unohana dodged that bitch completely, landing on top of his sword like a platform. And right as she was about to cut bro, Kenpachi clutches up and kicks her right in her side. After recovering from the last attack, Unohana starts talking to Kenpachi, saying that taking off his eye patch was a good idea, yet still thought he wasn't using his full strength. She starts calling bro weak because 1, he wasn't able to react to her plunging a big ass kunai in his shoulder in time, and 2, he's not utilizing both his arms in the fight, only one. Whole time, Kenpachi not even taking the fight seriously from the jump and was annoyed that she changed how she fights and her attitude. Unohana was not showing the same cold-blooded demon he fought years ago. After knocking his sword out of his hand and pointing her blade towards his neck, Kenpachi realizes that maybe he has gotten weaker over the years because the cheap tricks Unohana used on him weren't new, just not accessible at the time when they first fought, so therefore he genuinely didn't anticipate those attacks. He starts reflecting on his past and talking about how everyone he's killed never brought true satisfaction to him. But when he first met Unohana and fought her, she was the first person ever to get bro spooked and make him enjoy the thrill of battle. She was his genuine idol, and the realization that she was going to die made him start crying. He ended up fainting from the injury but woke up again with Unohana taunting him more in the process. Even though he's alive, something isn't adding up. That stab wound to his whole jugular should have killed him, but he's still alive and well. We find out that Unohana is going to let Kenpachi die because he gets stronger whenever he's on the verge. While clashing blades with her, Kenpachi keeps saying he's blacking out. Every time he charges at her, he wakes up again where the fight left off. She tried to steal on him from behind, but he weaves it and counters it by swinging the blow towards her stomach, only for her to dodge it just in time. While fighting, he starts reminiscing on the feeling of being in a life or death fight and thinks back to when he was younger as he fought Unohana for the first time. And from here, we ended up cutting back to Unohana's and Kenpachi's backstory and how their relationship started. Centuries ago, Unohana was a notorious criminal and first Kenpachi, which was the strongest Shinigami at the time. While hunting for worthy opponents in the Rukongai, which was the place she was in at the time, she encountered and fought a child that was standing on Mount Everest of corpses. This was Kenpachi Zaraki when he was a child, and this kid nearly killed her. Since he almost killed her, he was the only person to ever give her a true thrill in combat. But here's the thing, Zaraki was naturally stronger than Unohana and enjoyed fighting her so much, he subconsciously placed mental blocks on his own power so he wouldn't easily win the fight and keep it going. going. Cutting back to the main fight, Kenpachi is still actively trying to slime out Unohana, but he realized something mid-fight. He was beginning to land attacks on her, as before he was only able to react and dodge them. He started realizing that every time he blacks out then wakes back up in the fight, he feels stronger, and Kenpachi has already done it before. Back when he fought Ichigo, nearly lost his fight with the hollow Noratora Gilga, and even when he tried to throw hands with Yehaba himself. When he fought those fights, he held back and suppressed his power, fighting for the thrill of battle rather than fighting to win. And the great cause of this is Unohana herself. She's the reason he does this. That's why she says he's her greatest sin, because she held back her power and egged him on. Everyone Kenpachi has ever fought has been weaker than him, but when he met Unohana, she was the first person to ever rival him. And even though he could have killed her since she was the weakest between them, Kenpachi ain't want to risk losing someone who can actually provide him satisfaction in fighting. So thus, he suppressed his power and sealed it away. But Unohana was able to figure this nigga out. She realized that whenever Kenpachi is fighting someone and nearly dies every single time, the suppressed power he locked up is gradually released. So Unohana decided that during their fight, she's going to kill Kenpachi over and over by stabbing him in his neck, chest, literally everywhere, then heal him over and over again to bring out his true power. Like, think about it. Those times Kenpachi was blacking out and reawakening again, it was Unohana dealing final deadly blows on him, killing him, then healing him, bringing him back to life. It really shows how much Kenpachi was suppressing himself throughout the years. If she was able to easily kill him continuously, it shows that Kenpachi was never at full strength to begin with. So as we see firsthand that the strat is working, Kenpachi is starting to be more aggressive in his sword swings by cutting up Unohana more, and she heals herself using Kaido to keep the fight going. And at that moment, she unleashed her Bankai called Minazuki. We got this crazy shot of her Zanpakuto turning into blood that spills all over the floor and waterfalls of blood raining from the sky. She low-key got one of the scariest looking Bankais in the series. At this point, she locked into the fight, about to push this man Kenpachi to the absolute edge. Kenpachi over here feeling amped up as he roars and rushes towards her, with Unohana locking in and doing the same. Her Bankai is able to liquefy her sword into a vicious blood-like substance. And this bitch is like a domain, bruh. She can use the blood offensively to launch long-range energy slashes, defensively to create rapid blood shields around her body, and regeneratively to heal her own wounds. So while Kenpachi is getting thrown around and sliced up from those projectiles while being resurrected every time he died, he starts regaining his original strength. He starts moving in speed so fast that had Unohana teed up to keep up. As they throw down, we get this visual design of Kenpachi's left side of his body turning into a skeleton, representing Kenpachi getting back the immense power he subconsciously sealed away. He further starts rushing towards Unohana in incredible speeds, finally being able to land decisive blows and cuts on her body. And from here, he starts going on about how much he loves fighting. I'm pretty sure he loved it so much he forgot how much he really enjoyed it. She came up with the conclusion that Kenpachi has the ability to suppress his power so he can enjoy fights for eternity, whereas she can heal her injuries so she can also continue the fight and enjoy them for eternity. Clashing their blades together, she realizes that the power she has is to fight Kenpachi, because in any era there can only be one Kenpachi. So when their logic, when one strong person meets another just as strong, they must fight. That's just the natural order of things. She has to make a decision to either kill Kenpachi or make him stronger. And she already made her decision, which was to make him stronger. Stabbing her right through the chest, she says farewell and that he was the only fighter to bring her true joy in battle. She drops her sword and tells him that the fight is over, and this man Kenpachi is just in disbelief. She starts telling him that with her dead and gone, he might think he's going to go back to fighting boring opponents who brings him no satisfaction, but fucking forgot about Yehaba and the mass army of Quincy's to fight. As she tells him that she relinquishes everything to Kenpachi, she's basically saying that she's officially passing down the title of Kenpachi to him. She essentially sacrificed herself to break those subconscious mental shackles that had limited his power since their first childhood battle. After she dies, Kenpachi starts hearing a voice call his name, and he's trying to figure out where it's coming from. We find out that it was coming from his Zanpakuto. It spoke to him because he has finally removed his deeply ingrained mental blocks and accepted his true power, allowing him to officially learn and hear his Zanpakuto's name.